everyone, this is BJ Killam and this is my Christmas car, and I've had a lot of questions on how I did it, so I'll be showing you how I did it today. So I mostly get questions like, do they light up and how do I do it? Well, yes, they light up, and here's how I do it. So first off, as you can see here, I just have standard Christmas lights plugged into an extension cord, and the extension cord goes up into the window. And then when it comes in the window, I have it come through the window and plug into a simple laptop power inverter, which is plugged into a cigarette lighter. So basically what a power inverter is it converts the car power into house power, which is how I'm able to plug this in. Now as you can see on the power inverter, this power inverter supports 150 watts of power. If you look on the cigarette lighter of your car, usually the cap, or right below the cap, will tell you how much it supports, and all you have to do is take the voltage and multiply it by the amperage to get how much wattage it supports. So for example, this car is able to support a 240 watt power inverter. Since this power inverter is only 150 watts, the car can easily support it. If you come over here, you'll usually see a white tag on the end of your Christmas lights that tells you the wattage, amperage, and voltage of the Christmas lights. What you want to do is look at the wattage. So for example, this one uses 4.8 watts. That means technically we could put 30 strings of lights on this car, but we're not going to go that far this year. Another common question I have is, how do I attach the Christmas lights to the car? If you come over here, you can see that I use duct tape to attach it to the car, and suction cups as a backup plan in case the duct tape peels off. Next year though, we're going to use gaffer tape, which doesn't leave a residue. This year, since we're using duct tape, we're going to clean off the residue with just a little bit of Goo Gone. We did find last year though that packaging tape leaves a lot more residue than duct tape, so duct tape is highly recommended. Another thing people ask is, when they take the duct tape off, will it damage the paint? In our experience, it hasn't damaged the paint, but be sure to check for yourself. Look for a part of the car that's not very obvious and put just a little piece of duct tape on there and let it sit overnight, and then in the morning pull it off. If it takes the paint off, I wouldn't recommend you do it. Also, if you know you have water-based paint or eco-friendly paint, do not use the duct tape on your car. It will definitely peel off the paint. What you want to do is make sure that the car is clean before you apply the tape. Otherwise, the tape will stick to the dirt instead of the car. In turn, your lights will fly off the car. Now, to make it safer for the road, you want to make sure that the lights are turned out from the windshield to make sure that it doesn't blind the driver. You also want to make sure that they're not blocking anything like the windshield wipers or the hood, so that you can still use the car like normal. When attaching the Christmas lights to the door, you want to make sure that you have them lined up in such a way that they won't get slammed in the doors. You also want to make sure that when you're connecting the power to them, you want to locate the point on the door where the least movement occurs when you open the door and transfer the wire across that. Now, since we have a sliding door on our van, we can't put any lights here, unfortunately. But we did discover that to power these lights, you have to have an extension cord taped at one point on the door, and then not taped at all for the length that the door slides back, and then taped at another point, so that when you open it, the cord folds back when you open it, instead of getting caught in the mechanism. You want to make sure that it won't pinch in the door. So before you completely attach them, you want to open and close the door to make sure that it won't pinch. Then you can fully tape them to the door.
Merry Christmas!